So Will, say I'm an investor and I'm wondering what happens if somebody defaults on one of the loans in your fund? What's the process there?
Essentially, we collect interest on, it's due on the 5th of the month. And if the 8th, 9th, 10th, the borrower doesn't pay, usually I'll call them and see what's going on. And, it's not unreasonable for someone to say, I forgot to put money in that account, or it slipped my mind or something like that. We do auto draft the interest, but there's reasons every now and again it gets delayed. However, if I get no response or I can't get a hold of them, that's when alarm bells start to go off. Once the loan's 20, 25 days passed, and I still haven't heard from them, that's when I would contact our foreclosure attorney and essentially file for foreclosure. It's required for the property during the foreclosure process to go to auction at the county steps or the courthouse steps. That's what you see when people talk about foreclosures. So it goes to auction, and the point of that is so that the public has the opportunity to bid on the property, and we would just be another bidder at the property, and we would bid our loan amount essentially. And if someone outbids us, or they take the property and pay us off, if we don't get outbid, then we now own the asset for our loan amount. So that's functionally how it happens. I think it took us maybe 45 days from start to finish last time, and it cost us maybe $4,000 in legal fees from our foreclosure attorney. Once we took back the property, Brandon, maybe you can touch on what we did with it after that.
Yeah, so fortunately, when we loan on properties, we make sure that we're in a very safe position. And that was the case with this deal. So when we took it back, we were in a position on the loan where we were in a very safe spot, and we ended up finding a buyer for it that we seller financed it to. And that buyer renovated it and sold it and then paid us off. We're always looking at downside risk. If we hadn't found a buyer, we were prepared to go forward and do the renovation ourselves, which fortunately we have experience with that. So that would have been like our plan B or C if we couldn't have gotten it sold in its as-is condition. Fortunately, with this situation, we're able to just get the property sold, get it off our books, and focus on our core business.
Yeah, and just to add to that, taking the property back, we don't want to do that, obviously, but we have multiple options.
Sure.
You can sell it in its current condition. If it's in good condition, we can rent it out. Or if it's in bad condition, we can renovate it and then rent it or sell it, which we're doing renovations all day, every day. So in summary, it's a fairly straightforward process that ultimately ends in us owning the property, which allows us to either sell it or renovate it or rent it out, depending on the condition. And that's one of the main reasons we love lending.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.